Hello, Hogzilla here again. In today's video, I will cover a game I recently discovered in my downtime as I wait for the release of Tropico 7. It is called Worldwide Rush. I will cover what is in the game, what I liked, what I see as areas of opportunity, and my recommendation if you should go out and get this game. If you like these kind of videos, press that like button. If you have a question or want to share your experience while playing Worldwide Rush, then leave a comment below and please subscribe to my channel. Worldwide Rush was released on August 20th, 2025 for a cost of $19.99. In its most basic form, this is a transportation game where you have to move passengers from city to city using cars, trains, ships, and airplanes, but it is more complex than that really. When I started playing this game, I personally drew comparisons to Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe or OpenTTD, as in that game you have to move people and cargo from city to city with the same methods, just on a smaller scale, while in Worldwide Rush it is worldwide. Keep in mind that this game is still being updated and added to, so some items might be expanded upon that might not be available when you're looking at this video today, as the game might be updated. Or there might be an issue I mentioned that might have been corrected by the time you pick up this game. There are 3 different game modes available to play. The first one is Sandbox. This is where you can do whatever you want whenever you want based on whatever conditions you want to set up, including enabling cheats. The second method is Classic. This is where you start your own company wherever in the world and expand from there, going up against other companies for global dominations. So the name of the game is Expansion, Expansion, Expansion. The third and final method is Discovery. This is where you start with one country and a couple cities. You have to keep expanding to other countries before the timer runs out or you lose the game. Also, the cities that are provided will also generate passengers, which, if the city becomes overpopulated, will also trigger a lose condition if not resolved in the countdown timer display time. So this mode will always keep you on your toes, and this is the most interesting method I look forward to playing more in the days ahead. Let's start with some of the things I like about Worldwide Rush. The first item is the complex back-end economy. When you are picking a city, you will need to see what other cities people want to go to, and hopefully that other city wants to send people back in return. This is more common in modern city building games, but I wanted to call it out on this game as compared to OpenTTD, where you could transport any item to any city as long as they accepted that type of cargo. The economy is further enhanced by buildings you can add to each city hub, including items like fuel depot and hotel. Additionally, there are limits on how many of each vehicle that can be purchased each month. There is a capacity value that all companies on the map have to adhere to, so that number will get reset each month, preventing you from buying, let's say, 100 of the same types of vehicles just to overwhelm the market at one time. The second item I liked was the large, incomprehensible number of routes and cities that you can connect with each other. In this game, you are playing with the entire Earth map, so it is really overwhelming even when you get 100 cities under your belt, which is why I'm glad the game added something called Hub Manager, which is the third thing I like about this game. You can manually add routes between cities, which is necessary early on in any map, but after a while this is just not realistic. I mean, you could have 100 cities all with constant expanding and contracting demands from other cities to transport passengers, which is why hub managers can manage and maintain routes or expand cities with the money they bring into that specific hub, and then the remaining bank balance at the end of each month is transferred into your company bank balance. The maintain routes will keep existing routes, while expand cities will take that money and try and find other cities to add vehicles to. As the game exists today, hub managers are a must if you want to grow a large, expansive transportation network. The fourth item I liked is the bonus tasks that can award you extra money for completing certain items. These can be connecting cities together or building a hub in a certain city, so the game is always interacting with you. You cannot just build your transportation routes and do nothing after that. There will always be something the game will want you to do further and further and further. The fifth item I liked is competing companies. If you want, there can be a ton of competing companies on the map, up to 100 if you want. So each of them will be building their own networks of roads, rails, ships, and planes. So you'll be slugging it out with the other companies, trying to expand your networks to cities that they've already established. The sixth item I liked is Discovery Mode. You are given a couple cities and one country to start, and you have to expand from there in a set amount of time while avoiding overcrowding, which makes this mode interesting as you always have to be expanding, but you cannot forget about the previous cities when forging ahead with this type of gameplay. I really look forward to playing Discovery more and more, and maybe doing a video specifically on this mode. The seventh and final item I liked and I wanted to mention is how stable the release of this game has been. There have been some minor fixes, but I really haven't encountered too many issues while playing this game as compared to other games that seem to have lots of bugs and a lot of patch fixes after the launch. So I really wanted to call that fact out in this video. Now let's move into some areas of opportunity for the game to improve. The first item I wanted to talk about is how, while playing Classic Mode, the competition can buy you out without any notice or any ability to counter the hostile takeover, leading to an immediate game over. Reading online, it does appear that changes for this issue might be coming in the form of the ability to buy stock options in other companies, similar to the Railroad Tycoon series, which in my opinion deals with this in the best way. The second area of opportunity deals with wanting to make mass changes to your company. When you are talking about hundreds of hubs and thousands of routes, making the same change across the board is impossible. I said to myself right away that there needs to be some kind of ability to apply changes across the board, especially when you want to upgrade vehicles. But this mass edit ability would also be helpful when changing stuff on hubs after you buy out a competitor, because to add a hub manager, you would have to go to every single hub that you just acquired to make the change and add the hub manager and select what they should be focusing on. Another area this mass edit could be added for is to update routes in mass if you want to add or remove a city. The third item is sort of an odd one, but especially when I first picked up the game, on the vehicle selection screen, it is difficult to differentiate what is a car, what is a train, what is a ship, and what is a plane, as they all appear on the same screen with only a very tiny icon on the left side of the window, which is why I always have the filter screen up whenever I'm on the vehicle selection workflow. This area needs work in my opinion. The fourth item is about the hub system itself. Hubs are where your vehicles are stored, which is nice because you don't want players just creating random routes without having some kind of ability to set limits. But this can cause issues when you get maps that are built out a little more. For example, you can have one of your competitors placing hubs throughout France, and then you have no way of getting a foothold in France if your competitor has hubs throughout the entire country. I wish there was the ability for cities to have multiple hubs when the city gets large enough, and maybe you just pay some kind of surcharge to the first hub company. To get around this currently, I usually use a third city I do have a hub in to run a route between 3 cities to build up trust so I can do a buyout of that other company's hub. But I can't see there wouldn't be a reason we couldn't allow for a little competition. The fifth item is my wish for more cargo to transport than passengers. The map is large enough to do only passengers, but it would be nicer to have other cargo and it would be a more immersive experience. Reading the blogs, it does appear that in the future different types of cargo will be added to the game. So then this will go along the same lines of how OpenTTD has different types of cargo. The sixth and final item is the overall performance of the game once the number of routes and vehicles starts to get high. I noticed some performance issues around 7,000 total vehicles on the map, but it was still running okay and at an acceptable level at 11,000 vehicles. But then again, I do have a gaming PC, so this might be an issue for other people that are trying to play this game when the map is built out. So would I recommend getting Worldwide Rush? If you like transport strategy games and you want to get in early on a game with lots of expansion potential, then I recommend getting this game. I'm really looking forward to what the developers have in mind as they grow the game and to see if they will add an online multiplayer option, especially given the size of the map, number of cities, and potential routes. The first time I picked up this game, I played it for 3 hours straight before realizing I had actually played it for 3 hours straight. I will say that if you're looking for a nice, slow, relaxing game, then I would look elsewhere, as this game will always keep you moving, thinking, and creating all the time. That is all for this video. If you like these kind of videos, press that like button. If you have a question or want to share your experience while playing Worldwide Rush, then leave a comment below and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.